Bethenny Frankel, who is spilling tea about the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively situation. It's like all of a sudden a lot of people are coming out and saying stuff. Like the last video we did was Armie Hammer, an old video that he did over on Watch What Happens Live, where he was spilling tea. He didn't really say it, but his face said it all, and the stuttering in between. That Blake Lively is a nightmare to work with. And a lot of people have said that she's a nightmare to work with. And I'm not surprised by all of this. But Bethenny Frankel, who actually revealed on a TikTok that she ended up going to a movie premiere for It Ends With Us in New York City a couple of months ago, and revealed some tea about what she had witnessed while attending said premiere. So I have the video, courtesy of her TikTok. We'll play it and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
I have the craziest It Ends With Us premiere story that I totally forgot about, and I'm putting the pieces together now. And I'm going to share something with you I haven't told anyone because I thought it would get me canceled. Okay. So I go to the It Ends With Us premiere with Danielle, who I work with. I wear a cute pink dress. I'm excited. I show up. I walk the carpet. Then something that I've never seen in over 20 years ago in movie premieres happens, and they say there's an hour between the carpet and the premiere. Now, maybe that happens. I've never seen that happen. Okay. So there's an hour, and it's like too short to go to dinner, too long to stand there in stilettos. And so I see one of Blake's team members, and they're a little distant and a little like icy to me. Just there's something that I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. And I've, in other circumstances, this person is not this way. And it was slightly off-putting to Danielle and I. We both like noted it. And then it was one of these theaters that has all these like escalators in it. Okay. So we're like, what do we do? So we go to get margaritas. And that night, like I had a malfunction. My strap came off and we went to drink margaritas. I think it was raining and we were like walking outside in the rain and it was just like a mess. But we were having fun because we got buzzed on these like mason jar margaritas and they were great. And we come back to see the movie. I'm excited to see the movie. And because I love Blake Lively, I'm so excited. So we walk upstairs and we see Anna Wintour. She passes us. And I'm like, oh my God, wow, we'll do that another time, but like, let's park that. So then we keep walking and this guy says to me, oh, hey, Bethenny, you know Justin, he was on your podcast. And he's in this one like line and we say hello to each other. I didn't remember who he was. I don't know why, but we say hello to each other. He was very nice. I think he was wearing purple. And he's in this one theater. And then we think this, we saw him. So we're just going into the theater. Not usually, always, unless it's a weird different screenings, the premiere is in one giant theater and there might be like an overflow theater. Okay. But here, like he's in one theater, something's going on somewhere else. I saw Anna walk this way. So they take us and they put us all the way to the left in this theater where like nobody was in this theater. And it was just strange. It felt like everybody was separated. And I just called Danielle to be like, oh my God, like everybody was separated. I mean, now we're hearing about everybody being separated and the vibe was off. And so what I didn't tell anybody, because I was like, we'll be canceled, was we left because the vibes were not vibing. Like wasted hair, makeup, outfit to go to the city, drink a margarita in a mason jar, take a bucket of popcorn, take 2 bites, see Anna Wintour, see Justin Baldoni, and left to go back to Connecticut, like talk about blue balls. So something was definitely awry from the jump, and it was palpable. And what the getting canceled for is like you don't go to a premiere and like walk the carpet and leave. Like you just don't do that. And it's sometimes they're really bad movies and you want to leave and you can't. But like I remember calling my publicist and be like, the vibes were not vibing. Like we left, but it felt like I was doing something wrong, but it felt like I was also doing something right. Something was fucked. I have the craziest It Ends With Us premiere story that I totally forgot about.
Okay, so you pretty much got the gist. That a lot of people. She's basically confirming what a lot of people were saying, that at the premiere they were basically separated. That they had them in 2 separate theaters, which is weird because I've worked many of screenings and stuff and premieres. I even did, and it's funny because she's talking about Blake Lively, and I actually met her years ago when the first Deadpool came out, and we had the big premiere at the AMC in Times Square. So, and it was like them coming down the escalator, very much like Donald Trump when he did his first situation. It was very much that. They were descending down the thing like they were royalty or whatever the case was. And so, it was just like, Normally when we do screenings, we don't do two separate theaters. Everybody's in the same theater. Everybody's kind of just like assigned, there's the reserved seats in the first couple of rows where you seat the celebrities and all the stuff, and then you just watch the film, and then you have the Q&A or whatever the case is, whatever it's set up. And so for Bethenny, we're saying, it's like, yeah, that is highly unusual that you would have celebrities coming up in here and you would do that. But look, at this point, like I've said many a times, a lot of people are team. It seems like a lot of people are becoming team Justin Baldoni on this. I did not mean to close that picture, but instead of Team Blake. And I think it's because, like I've said many a times, Blake's negative reputation in the industry has come back to haunt her. Now, this is not trying to say like, okay, maybe there is some truth to the possibility that Blake may have dealt with some harassment type of situations. I just want to know personally, in these situations, at what times were you alone with Justin for him to be able to say or do the things you've been accusing him of? Because when it comes down to it, a lot of these celebrities are not left by themselves. A lot of times they have an assistant or somebody who's in the room with them. So if that's the case, you need to have them being called to the stand to be able to testify on your behalf and say that you were a witness to whatever Justin is being accused of doing per this lawsuit. I also don't understand what's the point of this lawsuit, because it's like, why did you wait months after the movie was released to all of a sudden sit out here and say that Justin Baldoni made you feel uncomfortable and was making you do all these crazy things? Another thing that rubs me the wrong way is why the hell is like, if this is not your movie, how is it that she got to have final cut approval over this film when this is not your film? This was Justin Baldoni's movie because he's the director. I would think as the director, you would have the final say in regards of how you want your movie done, unless it's a situation where the studio interferes and then they end up trying to take it over or do whatever the hell they want to do with the movie. But for the most part, Blake, you're the actress. You are starring in the film. How are you having a final say over how this film is done? Because they're saying that the final cut was her decision. She's not the director. And also, allegedly, she brought in Ryan Reynolds, her husband, to rewrite certain scenes. Why is he coming in writing stuff? This is not his film. You need to be focusing over there on Deadpool, which, of course, according to some people, he may have shot himself in the foot by incorporating some Justin Baldoni shade with Nice Pool in Deadpool 3. This is what some of the fans are saying. So for her interference, her alleged on-set bullying, and all the things that she was doing, and then allegedly they're saying that they have Justin on tape saying that he was kind of banished to the basement over some things that were transpiring behind the scenes. It's not looking good on her part. Now, I'm not trying to say he's innocent, because I'm sure there probably was some stuff he was doing behind the scenes too, and it could have came out of frustration for her coming on stage acting like her shit don't stink, and her trying to come in and take over his damn movie, which would frustrate the hell out of me too. But we don't necessarily know the full extent. This is why I don't know if anybody's going to win in this situation, because it's looking bad on both sides. I appreciate Bethenny for telling her side of the story, where it's like, yeah, she did sense like something was off in regards of what was transpiring there while they were doing this, this movie premiere, in regards of all the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. And let's also not forget how she was using this movie, which is about violence, what is it? Is domestic violence, any kind of abuse, sexual, whatever the case is, that she's using this movie to hawk her products. Her hair care line and her a drink line, which from what I was hearing from people that was in my comments, and shout out to y'all, the ones that was on TikTok and it was on YouTube, they were saying that there were influencers. It wasn't just like random people throwing shade or talking about her products were bad. These were actually beauty influencers or influencers of people who, try out different products that were underwhelmed by the products that she was endorsing. So I don't know if you can necessarily blame Justin Baldoni and the bad press that she received for this movie as to why her products have plummeted. I don't think people cared enough to equate the two. The problem was, and I remember seeing this in the comments where she was promoting the movie and she was talking about her products, people were turned off by her using the press tour for this film as an opportunity to hawk her products. People thought it was in poor taste. Like, how are you talking about the heavy subject matter of this film, and then you're having Ryan Reynolds come in to change up scenes because you feeling uncomfortable about the sex? Now, one thing I did not know about, but I've been hearing stuff about, is that Ryan Reynolds is a Mormon. And so is she, because, I guess, I don't know if she was born and raised a Mormon or she married into Mormonism. But, Mormons feel a way about sex and showing skin and all that other stuff. So if your religious background has come into play because you are honoring your husband or whatever, then sis, you should have never signed on for this movie to begin with, knowing the subject matter that is put into It Ends With Us. If this is a movie about domestic violence, if it's a movie about sexual abuse, if it's a movie where you got to show your titties and your ass, you should not have signed on to do this movie. This is like a goddamn Mormon doing Basic Instinct. Why would you even sign on to do that? Knowing your religious background. If it's against your religious beliefs, and if that trumps you trying to separate that and being an actor and playing the part that you were signing on to play, then this is not a role you should have done. So she wanted to come up in here and change stuff up. And now she's mad because, to me, it seemed like the years of bullying from being on Gossip Girl on down, she finally met her match with Justin Baldoni. She took his kindness for weakness, and he checked her. So we'll see how this story goes and how it progresses as we continue. So I ask all of you this. What do you think about what Bethenny had to say regarding going to the It Ends With Us premiere and expressing the shenanigans and the what she witnessed when she went to said event a couple of months, last year in 2024? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.